Kai Sotto. He is the Philippines' very own unicorn, the great hope of a 113 million strong nation whose passion for basketball is unlike anything else in the world. Can you blame them for putting so much expectations on the young kid? There has never been someone like Kai in the Philippines, a homegrown talent who is over 7 feet tall, has a soft touch, and has the agility that makes him NBA material, or so we thought, at least for now. But we all wonder, if not Kai Sotto, who is arguably the best homegrown talent we have now, then who can make it to the NBA? What is up, fam? Thank you very much to everyone who subscribed. We've recently hit 500 subscribers. This is a milestone for this new channel. Our next goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. So, why don't you join the family and hit that subscribe button? I hope you'll stick around. See ya! Three notable players with Filipino blood have played in the NBA, two of which are still currently playing. While all of you know Jordan Clarkson and Jalen Green, some of you may not have yet heard of Raymond Townsend. He is actually the first player with Filipino blood to be drafted in the NBA. Townsend was part of the 1975 NCAA championship team UCLA Bruins under the legendary coach John Wooden. Wooden was also the coach of all-time great Lou Alcindor, the man we know as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was drafted by the Golden State Warriors with the last pick in the first round. That's 22nd overall. He played a total of 3 seasons with the Golden State Warriors and the Indiana Pacers. In the second half of the 1990s, Johnny Barrientos, arguably the greatest point guard in Philippine basketball, almost became the first homegrown talent to make it to the NBA when he was offered a 10-day contract by the Charlotte Hornets. After that, the idea of a homegrown Pinoy making it to the NBA was buried into oblivion. That is, of course, until Kai Sotto arrived into the basketball scene. When Kai entered his teens, pundits and fans alike already became hopeful that Kai would become the first homegrown talent to be drafted in the NBA. Fast forward to the present, after a series of decisions that made most fans wonder what was going on in the minds of his handlers, we are still waiting and hoping that one day, he will finally make it there. But for now, I want you and me to create, like in a video game, the perfect Pinoy player who is suitable for the NBA. I think we can all agree that the Philippines has the deepest pool of point guards here in Asia. And it is still my opinion that sooner or later, a point guard from the Philippines will be able to play in the NBA. You can bet on that. So here's the thing. Look at all these great players. What do they have in common? Yes, they're all under 6 feet. In fact, they're probably only 5'9" or 5'10" at best. I'm sure most of you have already thought, if only Jimmy was at least 6 feet tall. What if Castro was 6 feet too? Imagine if Romeo was 6'3". So that's the first point. I suggest to everyone that our best chance is in the point guard position. But we have to ask, what are the attributes of this player? Now that we have selected the position, the next thing is to determine the height of this player. There are only a handful of players in NBA history who were under 6 feet. Calvin Murphy, Spud Webb, and Muggsy Bogues were probably the most well-known small players. All of them played over 10 seasons in the NBA. Trae Young is a good pattern in my opinion, at least for the height. If we are realistic enough, we can definitely hone a player who is at least 6 feet tall and is a pure point guard. The next question is, will this player be a passer or a scorer, or both? Again, we go back to Trey Young for that. Trey is an excellent passer and a very good offensive player, not to mention his otherworldly ball handling skills. We should also mention Chris Paul, who is a phenomenal point guard. He can also score and pass. We can also consider the great John Stockton. I think he is the purest definition of a point guard. Although he was good enough to score more during his days, he opted to play in their system and dedicated himself to orchestrating their team's offense. For the modern game, however, it seems like Trey Young is the best pattern. Listed at 6 feet, he can shoot all the way from Timbuktu and is a very good passer as well. So far, we have determined that the perfect Pinoy for the NBA is a point guard. He is at least 6 feet tall. He is patterned after Chris Paul, John Stockton, or Trey Young. To finalize everything, I think our best bet is to have someone like a Trey Young, who is a very good offensive player. It is a known fact that most of our point guards here can flat out score, so that is already a plus. This will make him an indispensable talent. So there you have it. Our perfect Pinoy is someone like a Trey Young. Before we go, let me leave you with this question. How can we produce a talent like that here in the Philippines? We will talk about that in my upcoming video. See ya!